What's going on? We're back with another episode of the Hobcast. And I know usually I'm accompanied by a Rubik's Cube or a Lego set to build or something fun and exciting, but for me today, the exciting thing is that I'm taking a break from my work to do this, and this is going to be a great little outlet. I've got some very interesting things planned to discuss. It's busy. Us elves in Santa's workshop are really grinding during our busy season. No, it's exams. I know I've said this like 4 or 5 times already, but it's exam season, and we're getting there. We're almost done, and yeah, what else can you say about it? That's why I'm at the desk. I'm got like the Zoom call angle going right now. This is what my relatives are gonna see this holiday season with our Zoom Christmas dinner parties. No, but yeah, that's why we're here. We're at the desk. It's gonna be something good to throw on in the background. Maybe you're studying for your exams or you're building toys for children too. And yeah, I appreciate you being here. Basically, we're going to be taking a look at, not looking, we're going to be taking a listen to some shower thoughts I've had. Now, shower thought, in brief, you know those things? You're taking a shower, you're doing something totally mindless, and you start thinking to yourself, oh, these are those thoughts. Now, ever since I started this podcast, I started jotting mine down because I knew now I have somebody to share these things with. Usually they just get lost in the sauce in my brain and they're gone, but now we have them and we're going to share them. So with all that jam out of the way, let's get into the first one. So I guess I'll start with the root because you got to know where the thoughts come from, right? So I've been watching The Mandalorian. Don't worry, no spoilers. I'm not even going to talk about the show. But what you probably know, if you know anything about the show, is that Pedro Pascal actually plays the Mandalorian. Great actor, even though he doesn't show his face. He's doing a good job. Pat on the back for him. But so I was watching a lot of interviews and stuff with him. When I'm not doing what I'm supposed to be doing, I'm watching YouTube videos or making them. Well, I guess making them. I'm supposed to do that now. Regardless, I was watching some Pedro Pascal interviews and he was going through his roles, like his previous roles in other shows besides The Mandalorian. And one of those was Game of Thrones, which I haven't watched at all. I know, call me crazy. I have not seen a single episode, read a single line of a Game of Thrones book. I'm happy with that. My life isn't any different, but maybe I need to be awoken to Game of Thrones. Either way, not the point again. Big tangents. So he played some guy in Game of Thrones. Long story short, he was talking about a scene where his character died in Game of Thrones. And I don't know, that big guy they call like the Mountain. He's like the strongest guy in the world or something. He was also in Game of Thrones. And Pedro's character, who I don't even know his name, he was killed in a fight by this big huge guy. But they showed in this interview a little clip from the show. And basically the big guy I can't do it because these are my hands. I guess I can do it this way. Grabbed like Pedro's character like this and like thumbed his eyeballs and like squished him into his head. Pretty gruesome, I know, but this is where the thought came from. So I guess I have to give that background. It's important, right? So basically coming off of seeing someone's eyeballs get smushed, I started thinking about, eyeballs and stuff. And then, those like viral vines that were like popular like 5 years ago, and there was the one of like the girl or guy or somebody, I don't even know, somebody like did this thing, they like pop out their eyeball and it's like sticking out. Anyways, that thought was in there too, and put all of this together, and I started thinking, like, I don't know how much like cordage is like in your eye that connects it to the brain. Like there's some, right? I don't know how much. Like if your eyeball pops out, like maybe there's like a little bit that it could like hang. I don't know whether it could or couldn't, but I started thinking, so say you could pop your eyeball out, right? And it's like, say it's like far enough away, but still connected. So like, say like a doctor did it so that it's not as gruesome, and the doctor's like holding your eyeball. If they like turn the eyeball, like you'd see whatever. They'd have to like drip some eyelid solution or something on it to keep your eyeballs wet. But anyways, so theoretically, right, wherever they point your eyeballs, like you would see that. So here's where it gets crazy. So say you take out both of your eyeballs, and they're out here. Doctor's got them out in front of your head, and you turn both your eyeballs around. Would you see yourself? This was my first thought. And first I was like, oh, of course you'd see yourself. I mean, your eyeballs they're still connected, not like ripped out of your head. Then you wouldn't see nothing. But with them still connected by the cords, you turn them, you should be able to see yourself, right? Now, that went well in my head, but now I'm thinking, we have left eyeball, right eyeball. So would you have to switch them to see yourself, right? Because if you just turn the eyeballs, wouldn't everything technically be backwards? And then I just started thinking, like, what if I just switch my eyeballs right now? Would your brain know that your left eyeball is beside your right eyeball on the right side now? Because like the way we like see stuff, like left image, right image, and we merge them together. But if we switch those two images, they wouldn't merge together properly, right? So you'd have to like take out both your eyeballs and then cross the cord over and then point them back at your face, and then I think you could see yourself. That's basically as far as that went. But yeah, I mean, think about it. Pop your eyeballs out if you get the chance. Turn them around and let me know, because now I want to know. I don't think there's that much cord. I keep saying cord like it's paracord that just tied up to your eyeball and tied to your brain. But yeah, whatever it is that's kind of here, I don't think it's long enough to pop out and look around. Maybe it is. I'm not a doctor, but regardless, we'll move on from the gruesome eyeball stuff. But I thought that was interesting. Did you ever think about that? Popping out your eyeballs and pointing them where you want to look? I did. And now you did, because you're thinking about it right now. Here's another one. So I've been doing a lot of studying for my exams and stuff. Been reading way too many lecture slides, way too many notes, way too many everything. And you know when you start like reading a word so many times that it doesn't seem real anymore? Like, okay, here's a side note. This has nothing to do with what I was going to say, but I was like rewriting an apple pie recipe, and what was the word? It was the crust recipe, and I rewrote the word crust so many times that crust didn't seem like a real word anymore. So that's just an example, so you kind of know what I'm talking about. So basically, I started, thinking about the letters, the words, and this is only going to apply to the English language. I don't speak any other language. I don't know the use of any other letters in any other language. But all I'm saying is I've come to the conclusion the English language does not need the letter D at all. No purpose whatsoever. And let me explain why. So take the letter D. What's it do? Okay, well, some people have names start with D. It's at the end of a lot of words, beginning of a lot of words. It's the letter D, right? You know it, you love it, maybe. Anyways, yeah. Oh, geez, that chair squeak is brutal. Okay, I'll sit still for the rest of this. But yeah, D. It makes a duh sound. That's about it. Dog, donut, strand, dead, did, dead. It's always the same. Like this, I originally thought of this like with the letter T, but then I realized T does like a lot of special things, like TH, like the. Like, that's not a T sound. Like, all the other letters have all these other different sounds. But D is always duh. So, I started to think, oh, well, if we didn't have D, we need something to make those sounds. So, what if we just replace all the D's with T's? So, what were the examples? Dog becomes tog. And stranded becomes strantet. It's people named Dave. They become Tave. But, it sounds weird, but If you were in my head, you'd think, well, maybe you'll think now too, because I'm going to tell you. If we just always pronounce things like that with the T instead of the D, that would just make sense. And it sounds fine. So let's write a sentence with a D in it. I am going to... Okay, none of those had D in them. Don't do that, dog. Comma. Don't do that, dog, for sure. But don't do that, dog, is what we'll go with. It would become don't don't do that, dog, tog, don't do that, tog, don't do that, tog. And we'd get along just fine without the D. I'm really thinking about what I'm doing right now. But think about it. You need D. I don't need the D in my language. That's all I'm saying. It's this sounded in my head. I was like, oh, this is a good idea. You should tell everybody this. Now I'm thinking about it like, dude, you sound like an idiot. You sound so stupid. But this is a real thing. This is really, you want to know what's going on? This is what's going on. We don't need it. Straight up. Don't need the letter D. And if you can give me, go down to the comments right now. If you're still here, go to the comments. Tell me what word needs the letter D, because you can't find one. I've been searching. I've spent at least a minute thinking of words, and I couldn't think of one that needed the letter D. So that's where I'm at right now. Even like A, like going for like different pronunciation. You got the ah, the the A. I think that's it. But all these other letters have so much purpose, and the D is kicked in the corner and forgotten. The D is the middle child that nobody cares about. We don't need it. Obviously, it's loved in pop culture and in meme culture, but those things aren't important anyway, are they? I don't know. Not important to me, at least. Not as important as a 25-letter alphabet, because that makes sense. That's a nice number. Quarter of 100. That makes sense to me. So now we're trying to figure out what we can see if we pull out our eyeballs. We're trying to see if there's any words with D's that need the D's in them. I can't think of any. But now let's go on another little tangent. This is a good one. So it's very popular right now, and has been for a while, to kind of talk about and meme on like the vegans and the vegetarians. I'm want no part in that. You do you. Don't tell me what to do. I won't tell you what to do. Kind of that's my stance. But of course, I had to do some thinking. Now, how do I preface this? Okay, we'll just start explaining. So I started thinking of like reasons that people go vegetarian, and one of them is obviously health reasons. No problem with that. But I'm thinking some people must do it because they love animals, and whether they just don't want to eat animals is one thing. But what if, let's use me as the example so that I don't offend anybody. Let's say I choose to not eat meat solely because I want to save a chicken. Okay? If I don't eat the chicken, then I think, that's good because I haven't harmed a chicken. Let's put it like that. Now I know like the immediate thing is like, oh, the chicken is dead at the store, but just because you didn't buy it and eat it. Okay, we're going to ignore that for now. So I'm choosing to not eat meat. This is not true, by the way, but hypothetical. I'm choosing to not eat meat because I want to save a chicken. So we say, okay. Now, my philosophy, and this is terrible to say, so this is like, don't use what I'm about to say as like your way of thinking, but unfortunately, this is what my brain always thinks, so I'm gonna share it. Is essentially that in like a grand scheme, I as an individual have like no impact on basically anything, and if I take that step to not hurt the chicken, hypothetically, the chicken isn't hurt, and I took that step, it wouldn't make any difference. And people say like, you hear people say all the time like, oh, if like, let's say voting, like, Americans just had their election, and you hear like, oh, you do your part to vote, every vote matters, your vote matters, and you hear this all the time, right? And I'm thinking, like, it makes sense, but realistically, as one individual, it doesn't make any difference unless Biden or Trump or whoever, unless they won by one vote, then it really didn't make a difference. And here's the argument that I hate is people will say, oh, well, what if everybody said that? Well, okay, but if everybody said that, then it's still the same. My one still doesn't make a difference. And if everybody said their one doesn't make a difference, then yeah, it did make a difference, but I wasn't the one that made that difference. You know what I mean? So the only way the one can make a difference is like if you have an influence on other people, then that's a huge difference. 100,000, 10,000 people, you can make that huge influence, but as an individual, it doesn't matter. I don't think it matters. Maybe like I said, it's not a good way to think about it, but that's just where my brain always goes, is does it really matter? And I don't think so. So how does that relate to all of this, right? So let's just think I don't eat the chicken. The next thought is, oh, that must result in a happy chicken because I didn't eat it. Let's say like it didn't even die, so it must be a happy chicken. Well, not really. It didn't result in a happy chicken. It just resulted in one less sad chicken. You know what I mean? Which is still good. I mean, I don't want chickens to be sad. I want everybody to be happy, have a good time. But we're thinking about it like this. So let's say somehow that me not buying the chicken resulted in, it went back enough into the ancestry.ca family tree of the chicken. It didn't make a happy chicken. It just made one less sad chicken. And I'm going to try to make this more clear. So let's say that path number one is we didn't make a happy chicken. We just made one less sad chicken. Okay, that's good, I guess. But it's either that or somehow I went back and altered the whole life essence, not essence, but the whole lineage of the chicken family. So let's say that somehow I did that. And, the chicken that I chose not to buy didn't need to be brought to the store. So it didn't need to be butchered. So it didn't need to be born. So it didn't need to be made by the mother chicken. That's where we're at right now. I didn't go buy the chicken, so it didn't have to be brought to the store, so it didn't have to be butchered, so it didn't have to be born, so the mother didn't have to make it. That's where we're at now, which would be good, you think. Now, Bob and Joe and all these other guys, they're still going to eat chicken, right? So that same chicken is going to have to continue producing chickens. So now think about it. Either I just prolonged the sad chicken, or somehow I was the hand of God that made that chicken not a thing, and some other chicken would have to take its place in the lineage, right? Because if chicken one is the chicken that I would have eaten, either I delay chicken one's life and it's born one unit of chicken after it would have been, in which case somebody was going to eat it anyway, or somehow chicken one never exists and I've just caused chicken 2 to come into rotation, and now it's my fault that chicken 2 is on the chopping block. So either way, it doesn't sound like a good thing. And this becomes, almost like, it's like, so either I do something for the greater good, which would be not eating chickens, but you can see how that would alter the chicken reproduction, and I'm sacrificing now some new chicken that wasn't even going to be a chicken because of my choices. So do I step in for the greater good, but for the pain of one chicken? I don't know. It's like, the trolley problem, which is like, I just covered my mouth when I talked. The trolley problem, which is like, there's a train or trolley. What is trolley? Trolley, is that a British thing? Sounds British. Bit weird, isn't it? Okay, I shouldn't do that. Oh, what are we, 20 minutes in? Okay, that's far enough. Trolley problem. So there's a train track like this, and then it's got like a whoop. Okay, I'm not gonna use my Mamma Mia hands to try to explain. I'll just, hopefully it'll be visualizable enough. Basically, you have a train on a track, and you know how trains do the little split? Okay, I'm explaining with my hands anyway. They split the tracks, so the train can go this way or the train can go this way. So the way that the train is going, there's 5 people on the tracks. Now, the way that the train is not going, there's 1 person on the tracks. So you put on your conductor hat like this. Okay, we're not going to do that. Put on your conductor hat and say, I am now... Actually, it wouldn't be the conductor. You know, it's the guy that like pulls the thing that picks where the train goes. But you're that guy now. Train is heading for 5 people. Do you say, hey, fate was happening and those 5 people are going to get hit by the train? Or do you turn the train thing to hit the 1 person? So you'd be saving 5 lives for 1, which from ooh boo monkey brain sounds like, ooh, good, less dead people. But it's kind of a dilemma because fate would have killed the 5, but in all actuality, you would have killed the 1 if you choose to turn the train. And that's like the moral dilemma. And that's like the same thing as the chicken, right? Is it? I don't know, sounds like it. I don't even know. What would I do in the case of the trolley problem? Run the other way? I don't know. Turn the train and try to get the 1 person off the tracks because it's easier than 5? I don't know. What would you do? Let me know if you'd kill 5 people or 1 person. This is terrible. Where is this gone? Oh no, I'm never sharing my thoughts again. This is just where I'm at after, so I had an exam, what day was it? 15th? No, the 11th. The 15th is today. Is today the 15th? I don't know what day it is. Maybe it would be good to log for future me. Hey, future me. I think it's the 15th or the 16th. Friday is the 18th. Thursday, 17th. Today's the 16th. Hey, me. December 16th, 2020, you were learning about dynamic programming algorithms and Turing machines, and you weren't having a good time. Anyways, that was just for me. A little something special thrown in there for me. Now it's for you. Oh, what am I doing? Jeez. Okay. 11th, I had an exam, and then my next exams run the 18th, 19th, and 21st. So I've had this week to just feel guilty about not studying. It's like the worst schedule you can have. If it was like all at the beginning, fine. You get it done and you're chilling. If it was evenly spread out, okay, study, test. But the way I have it laid out is just so painful. It's 1 week to marinate in the fact that you don't know anything about any of your exams. And then they all come at once and you're done. But that's where I'm at. That's why my brain's a little fried, and maybe some of my shower thoughts should stay in the shower. Where do we go from here? Well, let's talk about a little bit of what I have planned. Now, holidays are coming up. It's always a good time. I do have plans for 2 more videos this year. Both of which are... one of which is going to be... I don't know if I want to tease it. Sprinkle a little tease. I don't know. Like, who's watching this far anyway? Oh, it's only like 24 minutes in. This isn't going to be as long as typical. Like I said, this was just a little break for my mentals and getting my notepad on my phone cleared of all the weird things I've thought of. Maybe this could be a new thing. Shower thought Hobcast. Maybe. Anyways. Oh my god, how many times do I say anyways or regardless? I realize I say that a lot. Anyways, regardless. What was I even saying? Oh, future videos. So, next week, I've got a build video planned, but I'm going to try to make it a little extra exciting. What's it going to be? You have to stay tuned. And then the week after, because I'm so busy, like it's Christmas time, all this stuff's going on. Family, girlfriend, bada bing, bada boom, bada bing. And we got lots going on, so it's going to be a busy week, but I'm going to try to get a video next week. The week after that, I have another fun video that's kind of Christmassy related, even though it'll be after Christmas. But that should be fun too. Don't want to spoil too much of it. So stay tuned for those. And then that'll take us to the end of the year. And early next year, like as early as next year is, which is like beginning of January, I won't be back for school yet because we got an extended break for coronavirus, which is stupid, first of all, because it's just going to make the end of the semester more painful, but that's neither here nor there. Anyways, long story short, I have a bit of an extended break, and I really want to work hard on some more videos. So my first thought was to do like pick that week that I would have been back at school, but now I'm not back at school, and really just grind. And I was thinking 5 tutorials that week. Like that'd be like a cool series, right? Like tutorials for different skills, like the pen spinning or the water noise. That was a weak one. See, I need a tutorial. But that was my first thought, was a new tutorial every day for that week, which I thought could be exciting, but then it could kind of get dry, and I don't want like people to think, oh, we should just get used to this guy teaching us how to do stuff, because I don't want to do that all the time. Like, this is a big ugly mess, and we want to keep it that way. So that was my first thought. I've been thinking of like multiple other series. I'd like to do another video with my girlfriend. If you guys have any ideas for that, maybe she could try to learn kendama or something. That could be fun. That could be fun if I make tutorial videos and then use her as the guinea pig. I think that'd be fun, because I feel like that would be something cool to look back on as well in the future. But yeah, so I don't know if that's going to happen, the 5 tutorials. I want to try to make 5 videos in a week. I don't know if they're all going to be tutorials. Like I said, other series I was thinking about was showing you some like, oh geez, just coughed right into the mic. But I saw like Critical. Don't know if you know Critical or not, but regardless, see, said it again, but that time I did it on purpose. Maybe. Critical made like a video of like professional foosball players, and I was like, oh, I should show off like some intense people with crazy hobbies, like there's so many like weird sports and things that people do competitively, like ear pulling. Have you seen ear pulling? That's where you get like this cord, and then I wrap it around my ear, you wrap it around your ear, and we just yank each other backwards until somebody's ear like gives out and the string comes off, and hopefully the ear doesn't come with it. But things like that, like, because I think that's really related to where I want to take this channel, which is like, motivating people and showing people new, unique skills and hobbies and things that they could take up for themselves. Now, I'm not saying you're going to go take up ear pulling, but it kind of sparks the brain, gets you thinking of things you could be doing, and which is another reason why I want to do like all these kind of unique, like I don't want to just do, like I said, tutorials, because that doesn't leave much room for kind of creativity. If I'm like, oh, you can do this with a pen, like, yeah, you could take that a step further to do more pen tricks, and I will do some tutorials like that, but I also want to make sure I mix in like, oh, here's me with no experience painting something, just to inspire, just seeing somebody who can't do it do something like that. And I want to keep it fresh and minty, like Colgate toothpaste. That's where we're at. Expect 2 more videos this week. Hold me to it. Pin me down, poke my eyeballs out like this. And early January, I want to really pick up the pace, because exams are me, and I want to be me. And that's that. That's where we're at. I should probably get back to the books, back to the PowerPoints, back to the pain. And with that, I hope you are thinking about your eyeballs. Do we need a recap? Pull your eyeballs. Turn them around. What do you see? The letter D. We don't need it. What was the last thing? Oh, chickens. You saving the chickens? You turning the train to hit lots of people or one person? It's up to you. I appreciate you checking this out. Some new people finding the channel. I hope you're sticking around too. I love you and I miss you. If you know that meme, you're a real one. Okay, I'm out. I'm actually leaving.